king goes a4, and we're going to go ahead and continue down with our king, give a better position for our king. And the c5 square is actually the outpost for our king for a while. He is going to kind of hang out there, and our minor pieces, the bishop and knight, are going to be doing most of the work for the short while. So we're going to go ahead and see where the king goes. The king is going to try to make a fast track to the h1 square. And we are going to do what we did before, and that's activate our knight and try to take away some squares. And we're going to go to b4, and it's done for two reasons. With the knight here, we're taking away two light squares, which is the c2 and the d4. Now the dark squares, as you're going to see in just a moment, are going to be taken away from the bishop when we bring the bishop and activate him. The king can't come to the c4 square. Because of the king, he can't come to this d4 square. And so he's eventually going to have to make his way on dark squares. And so our next move is going to be to activate the bishop and make sure that he does not do this. But at the time being, we've blocked off the light squares, so he cannot get past these. And for just a little while, we're going to actually leave our knight there so that he can't do this. We're going to see where black goes. And black comes down to b2. And black now wants to try to move along these dark squares, so his next move wants to be c2. So we're actually going to stop c2. A lot of people get the mistake and try to come down to e5 and check the king, but again, we're not trying to check the king, we're trying to checkmate the king. So we're going to come here to f4 and block off these two dark squares, and the knight, as we talked about, blocks off these light squares. And so black is not able to retreat to the h1 square. So black in this situation is probably going to try to make a move back to the a1 square since we have this blocked off. Well, it looks like he's first going to move to the h1 square. So we're actually going to kind of just improve our position with our bishop. Our knight is nicely placed. He's still defending these light squares, and the black king still can't come past this wall that we've created. So we're just going to bring the bishop a little bit closer, and you can already see the wall we've created that black king cannot come against. The bishop has all of these dark squares covered, the king has this square, and the knight has the two light squares. So the black king has to retreat now, and he retreats, and we're actually going to improve our bishop one more. And just from this subtle move, we've created another wall that the black king cannot come to. Again, the bishop has the dark squares, the knight has this light square, and the king has this light square as well. So the king's going to have to do something. He's probably going to now retreat to the a1 square. And he does. He moves to a4. And now we want to make sure that he can't come back to this a5 square. And so we want to make sure that our bishop is aligned there. So we're going to go ahead and move our knight to c2. Activate him a better position and allow for our bishop to block off these two dark squares. So the black king can no longer come to the a8 square, and he's going to have to come back to this area. And he's going to come attack our knight, so we know for sure we have to move our knight. We want to make sure that we put him in the best position. And black obviously would like to either take the knight or take this position from the knight and go along these light squares. So we want to move the knight where he is out of the way of harm, and at the same time blocking this light square. So we're going to actually move our knight to d4, taking away this light square. And these dark squares are taken by the bishop, and this light square is taken by the king. So we have another wall that the black king cannot go around. So the black king is going to try to retreat again. And now we are going to get the king involved, and we're actually just going to get our king and push the black king, all the way down the line. As you've seen, we already have a line on this c file. The black king cannot come past this c file because of our minor pieces, and so we're just going ahead and get our king involved. So king to b6, and black starts to retreat. And we move our king into position. You can see the wall we've created of moves that he cannot make. And the black king is going to come down. Our king's going to continue his track down to the a1 square. And we have a wall created of moves that the black king cannot make. And the black king is going to go closer, and now we can actually activate our bishop and get him into the game a little bit better. Close the king in, so we're going to go ahead and move our bishop to c1. Now the black king can move to a1 or b1, it doesn't matter, our next move will be the same. And that's just going to be bishop to a3, and the bishop is blocking off these two dark squares, and the knight is blocking off this c2 square, so the black king cannot come to this h1 square, he's going to have to retreat. And it doesn't matter which one he goes to. We're going to go ahead and bring our if he comes to a2, we can move our knight first, but if he comes to a1, we can move our king first, so just keep that in mind. So we're first going to go ahead and activate our king here, and black only has one move to b1, and then we're going to head and put our knight in a better position at e2. Again, the black king can't come to c1 because of the bishop and the knight now, so his only move is a1, and now we can finish off the king. We can check him with b2 check, and after he moves we can move our knight and swoop in for the checkmate. So hope this helped. I hope conceptually you have a better feel for how to checkmate with the bishop and knight. It's a very fun endgame once you understand it. If you want some practice, on my website, thechesswebsite.com, you can go and under Endgames you can practice under king and knight. But definitely going to be having a lot more videos, so please subscribe. Hope everyone enjoyed. Leave comments or questions for me, and hope y'all enjoy. Thanks.